sky. It's all wrong. Everything's wrong.
Where'd you come from?
I'm gonna have to kill you. Again! Stay back!
Where'd you come from?
Yeah!
Who's there? Done and done.
expect me to write my... What do I mean? Indeed, if I hadn't lost all of the pages, I wouldn't be in this predicament, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. Very well. I am Jib. Some call me Saint Jib. Others call me Jib the Eradicator. I can't say that I'm surprised by your answer. Until I get my second... A book? I'd hardly... Surely you've heard of the rise and fall of Saint Jib the Eradicator, hero of Morrowind and savior of the Dunmer. Maybe you should leave the writing to an expert. It's terrible. I was in the midst of writing the second volume, and they just threw me into this prison. It's unfair. That damn Dremora and his minions. They didn't even give me a chance to Well, I assume so. It cast a spell at me from... Next thing I knew, My what? Wait. No. All these wasted months? Or has it been years? No, my world will never see the light of day. My name will be... Perhaps. Do you have a... Maybe I can't leave. But my writings can. In order to write the second volume of my opus, I need the notes from my first volume. When I was tossed in here, I felt myself falling. And there were 10 of them in all. Find them for me, please. I beg you. Well, that's a ridiculous question. Everyone traveling through here has said that the Oblivion Gates have been opening all over Tamriel. Has it been that long? Well, it started with the followers of Mehrunes Dagon having Emperor Uriel Septim VII. Without a Septim on the throne of the Empire, Dagon was able to leave Oblivion through the gates and attack. All I heard is that without a Septim sitting on the throne of the Empire, the dragon fires in a place called the Temple of the One. This meant that we were vulnerable to the forces of Oblivion. Well, I don't know. Everything's... I can only assume the gates have been closed by now. I had just moved from my ancestral home in Morrowind to the continent of Cyrodiil. I settled in the city of Kavach to write my memoirs and to find some peace and quiet. Indeed, one moment I was writing diligently, and the next, my door. It was a cadre of Dremora. I took it upon myself to join the cause and fight the Dremora, thinking this would simply be another feather in my cap. The reason I'm standing in front of you as only a whisper of my former self should tell you that. I never knew what became of Kavach. I wonder if they were triumphant without me. Ah, yes. Say Jib the Eradicator, Jib the Magnificent. I've earned a lot of those titles thanks to my campaign against the Winged Menace. Yes, I'm speaking of the Cliff Racer, of course. They used to crisscross the skies over Morrowind like vermin. Nasty flying creatures with a habit of sneaking upon the unwary. After I was freed from prison, I decided to turn my life around. It became quickly apparent that the best way I could help would be by wiping out the Cliff Racers. Indeed I was. I hunted down and killed every last one of them. The people of Morrowind were so grateful to have the roads safer again, they took to calling me Saint Jib, and then the other names followed. That was a dark time in my life. Maybe that's why I worked so hard to redeem myself once I murdered others for money. And before you think I belonged to some, I was simply an addict who needed money for school. The stuff wasn't cheap, and murder always seemed to be in demand. I finally bit off more than I could chew. I was paid to assassinate some high-ranking official from House Redorin. What I didn't know Someone had hired the Morag Dong to kill him as well. Exactly. He got to my target first and called the guard to cover his tracks. By the time I got there, the place was on alert. Walked right into a trap and didn't even realize it until I was captured. They tried me for murder, threw me on a prison ship, and sent me to the jail in Vivek. Gave me a lot of time to think, that's for sure.